Right. Welcome to the another section of optical communication networks. The next topic we discussed is coupled modes and mode mixing. Coupled modes and mode mixing. I think you know the this topic. I know this topic. Is in EMTL, electromagnetic wave and transmission lines. You know the electromagnetic waves can travel along the waveguides using a number of different modes. Here, what is meant by waveguide? Here, the waveguide is nothing but it is a channel which supports high frequency signals. Yeah, nothing but suppose you are go for copper cables, coaxial cables. It supports very less frequency signals from one point to another point. But we are using waveguides. In waveguides, it supports high frequency signal for a long distance. The best example for waveguide is the circular waveguide. The example of circular waveguide is optical fiber cables. Right. There are different types of waves correspond to the different elements within electromagnetic waves. You know the concept of electric and magnetic fields are both are perpendicular to each other. Here now we discuss about there are three types of modes: TE mode, TM mode, and TEM mode. First one is TE mode. This mode is dependent upon the traverse electric waves. TE stands for traverse electric waves. Sometimes it is called the H waves. Here the electrical vector is always perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Direction of propagation. In TM mode, it stands for traverse magnetic field. Sometimes it is called the E waves. The magnetic vector is always perpendicular to direction of propagation. Next, TEM mode is a traverse electromagnetic wave, which cannot be propagated waveguide. Especially this type of mode, which is used at coaxial cables and feeders and copper cables. In this, both electric vector and magnetic vector both are perpendicular to each other. These are basic concepts of modes: TE, TM, and TEM. In fibers, we are using only TE, TM mode, and TEM mode, which are used in coaxial and copper cables. Here, the waveguide having some deviations of the fiber axis from the straightness, variations in the core diameter. That is, suppose irregular diameter of a core in an optical fiber cable, automatically we are getting output is some noise. At that time, we have to calculate some coupling efficiency. Right. Here, ray theory illustrate two types of perturbations. It may be observed that they no longer maintain the same angle with the axis. You know the concept of total internal reflections. Is it possible to maintain incident and reflected angles same along the fiber axis? It is not possible in practical. Here, in electromagnetic wave theory, corresponds to a change in the propagating mode for the light. That is changes from TE to TM, TM to TE due to phase change, the total internal reflections in the along the fiber axis. Here, the individual modes do not normally propagate throughout the length of the fiber. Without large energy transfers to the adjacent modes, even when the fiber is exponentially good quality and it is not straightened and bent by surroundings. This mode is conversion from the mode coupling or mode mixing. That is, if you are taking good optical fiber cable, but we are getting some deviations. This is a phase change. At that time, it is called as a mode mixing or mode coupling. Especially this type of mode mixing or mode coupling, especially derived from the Maxwell's equations. Here, the mode coupling affects the transmission properties of the fibers in the several important ways. A major one being is related dispersion properties of the fibers over long distances. Right. Here, how the mode coupling or mode mixing can be done. We'll discuss one of the properties, dispersion property. Now we'll go for the dispersion properties of a fibers. Now we'll discuss first one is what is meant by dispersion property. Right. Here dispersion means the pulse of light propagating through a fiber. These acts to spread out the pulse in the time domain, changing the shape of the pulse. changing the shape of the pulse. See this figure, we are taking two waveforms. This is for transmission end, this is for receiving end. At the transmitting end, we are sending 1011 pulse, but due to some delays, we are getting output 1011, but the last two pulses 11 merging together, merging together, merging together. This merging is part is called inter-symbol interference. Inter-symbol interference, that is merging of the pulses. This is called the dispersion. Due to some alignment changes, phase changes in the optical fiber cable, the pulses are merging together. This is called the inter-symbol interference, which is one of the noise. There are three types of dispersions. First one is intermodal or multipath dispersion. Second one is material or chromatic dispersion. The third one is waveguide dispersion. Three types of dispersions are available. The first one is intermodal or multipath dispersion. Intermodal or multipath dispersion. Here, what is the property of optical fiber cable? The optical fiber cable is total internal reflection. Here, the total internal reflection, the transmission of a signal in a zigzag manner, in a zigzag manner throughout the optical fiber cables. Suppose we are taking two signals. One is shortest wave, another one is longest wave. Here the shortest wave is nothing but a straight line path goes to the optical fiber cable. The second one is longest one, that is it is a zigzag one, right? So we have to assume that let Z, capital Z, is the total length of the fiber in terms of kilometers. See this, suppose we are assuming this is the optical fiber cable core. Suppose we are taking a signal is straight, shortest path, but a signal goes straight line path. At that time we have to calculate what is the length of the signal. The second one is longest one. Due to zigzag manner, it takes more time from transmitting to receiving end. That is the longest one. The total length of the fiber is Z. Right. Here, see this one in the above figure, we are taking two mode of a signal, mode 1 and mode 2. Mode 1 and mode 2. This is group velocity 2, group velocity 1. This is the group velocity for 1 is for mode ray 1, and group velocity for mode ray 2 VG2, and theta 1, phi 1 and phi 2 are the angle of incidence. Suppose let ZT is the path length for a zigzag path. Suppose we are taking from this end to this end, how much length of a signal in the optical fiber cable is ZT. Nothing but which is equal to ZT, which is equal to Z by sin phi. General equation. What is meant Z here? The total length of the fiber. What is meant ZT? Zigzag path. It is sin phi. Sin phi is nothing but angle of incidence. Suppose for lowest order mode, phi equal to phi max is equal to 90 degrees at the time of critical angle, 90 degrees. Substitute here ZT minimum lower order, which is equal to Z by sin phi max, that is Z by sin 90, which is equal to Z we are getting for lowest order mode. At that time, the ray is straight line path. The ray is straight line path. Next is highest order mode, phi equal to phi minimum, which is equal to ZT max, which is equal to Z by sin phi minimum, which is equal to Z by sin phi c, critical angle. You know the concept of sin phi c, which is equal to N2 by N1. What is meant N2? Refractive index of cladding. What is my N1? Refractive index of core. This is the basic concept. Sin phi c equal to N2 by N1. Phi c equal to sin inverse of N2 by N1. Let's substitute here. We are getting ZT max is equal to Z into N1 by N2. Next, what is the difference between two paths? Straight line path and zigzag path. Delta Z, which is equal to ZT max minus ZT minimum. We are getting Z into N1 minus N2 by N2. This is we are getting the maximum path difference. We know the concept of phase velocity. How much phase change in the optical fiber cable? Vp, which is equal to 1 by root mu epsilon. Again, we have to divide this 1 by mu epsilon, root of mu epsilon, 1 by root of mu naught epsilon naught multiplied with 1 by root of mu r and epsilon r. This is about at the free space. Mu naught and epsilon naught. This is for at the time of practical one, which is equal to, suppose we have to assume that you know that mu r which is equal to 1 and 1 by root of mu naught and epsilon which is equal to velocity of the light, then which is equal to c by root of epsilon r, c by epsilon r, right? We know that the phase velocity of a core which is equal to c by n1. Similarly, phase velocity of cladding c by n2. Then how much delay we are getting from straight line path and zigzag path? How much time delay? Which one we are getting high time? Zigzag path can be take more time than the straight line path. Then delta t, which is equal to delta z by phase velocity Vp, which is equal to n1 z by c by n1 minus n2 by n2. You know delta n equal to n1 minus n2 for simplification. Then automatically delta t, which is equal to n1 z by c into delta n by n2. Then delta t by z, which is equal to n1 by n2 into c into delta n. This delta t by z shows multiple time difference of the fiber, especially the unit width is in terms of nanoseconds. Right. Here in this derivation, we are calculating what is the path difference between straight line path and zigzag path, and how much time delay we are getting between straight line path and zigzag path. Which one get taking more time to transmit from transmitting end to ending receiving end? Zigzag path getting more delay. Next one, second type is material or chromatic dispersion. The name itself shows material dispersion. At the time of manufacturing, is there any manufacturing problems? At the time of optical fiber cables, we are getting material or chromatic dispersion. When a pulse of light transmitted through optical fiber cable, suppose different wavelengths, different refractive index we are getting in this optical fiber cable due to manufacturing problems. We are getting centered about lambda naught wavelength, and the remaining ends we are getting the wavelength should be decreases. Here the pulse component having shortest wavelength will experience more delay than those of large wavelengths. Right? Whenever the short wavelength will experience more delay, nothing but you know lambda equal to c by f value. Whenever the shortest wavelength is nothing but lambda value is small, automatic frequency should be high. Frequency should be high. Whenever frequency should be high, nothing but you're getting more pulses. Whenever the more pulses we are getting, automatically it takes more time to transmit from one end to another end. That is the basic principle lambda equal to c by f. Based upon the formula only we are getting this material or chromatic dispersion. Next, the last one is waveguide dispersion. If the waveguide dispersion is due to the bound structure of the optical fiber cable. Yeah, whenever the material dispersion is absent, the dispersion is called as a waveguide dispersion. Here, the refractive indices of both core and cladding are independent of wavelengths in this waveguide dispersion. Right. Here, at the time of designing waveguide only, we are getting this waveguide dispersion. Here, in waveguide dispersion, whenever the signal is transmitted, for each pulse, 1 milliseconds we have to assume. For each pulse, time period is 1 millisecond. But we are getting output is more than 1 milliseconds. We are getting at the output. Nothing but the signal is broadening. The signal is broadening. At that time, we are getting waveguide dispersion. Do you have any query? Please type your query in a chat box. Thank you very much for attending today's class.